Heather O'Rourke was a child star who had a promising future ahead of her. Her talent was discovered by famous director Steven Spielberg, and she became known for her role in the 1982 horror film Poltergeist and its sequels. Unfortunately, Heather's life was cut tragically short when she passed away at the age of 12 due to complications from intestinal stenosis. Heather was a beautiful little girl with big blue eyes and blonde hair that captured the hearts of many. Her career in Hollywood began when she was just 5 years old, and she quickly rose to fame for her impressive acting abilities. Despite her young age, Heather was a professional and reliable actress, particularly in her role as Carol Anne in Poltergeist. Fans of the classic horror film continue to mourn Heather's passing to this day. She was one of those child stars who had so much potential, but her life was taken far too soon. Heather O'Rourke was born on December 27, 1975, to Kathleen and Michael O'Rourke. She grew up with her older sister, Tammy O'Rourke, who also was an actress. However, when Heather's parents divorced in 1981, she went to live with her mother and sister in a trailer park in Anaheim. In 1980, Heather and her mother were eating at the Metro-Goldwyn-Mayer commissary while they waited for Tammy, who was dancing in Pennies from Heaven. It was there that director Steven Spielberg spotted Heather and approached them, asking to speak with the young girl. When director Steven Spielberg was casting for his upcoming film, he was looking for a child actress with an angelic look. That's when he spotted Heather O'Rourke, who was eating with her mother at the Metro-Goldwyn-Mayer commissary. Although Heather had no acting experience, Spielberg saw something special in her and offered her a reading test. Impressed with her natural talent, he immediately signed her up for the role of Carol Anne Freeling in the 1982 film Poltergeist. Heather's performance in the film was nothing short of amazing. As the youngest child of a family haunted by supernatural forces, she brought a sense of innocence and vulnerability to her character. Her iconic line, "They're here," became one of the most memorable lines in film history. Heather was a professional actress known for her perfectionism on set despite her age. In 1986, her mother Kathleen shared some anecdotes about Heather's behavior during filming. One time, while shooting a scene with a wind machine, Heather became annoyed and frustrated by the strong gusts of wind blowing in her face. She soldiered on with the scene, but it was clear she wasn't enjoying the experience. Another time, while filming a scene in a room with electrical equipment, Heather became panicked when the room suddenly shocked her. Following the success of her film, Heather went on to take part in several commercials and television shows, showcasing her acting skills in a variety of roles. Some of the television series she appeared in included Chips, the new Leave It to Beaver, and Our House. Heather's talent earned her recurring roles in popular shows such as Webster and Happy Days, cementing her status as a rising star in the entertainment industry. In 1984, Heather's family relocated to a 4-bedroom house in Big Bear Lake, California, after her mother Kathleen married a truck driver named Jim Peel. The move was made possible thanks to the earnings from Heather's films and television shows. Heather continued her acting career, reprising her role as Carol Anne in 2 more Poltergeist films, demonstrating her versatility as an actress. Unfortunately, 7 months after finishing her scenes for the 3rd installment of the franchise, Heather's health took a turn for the worse. It was in January 1987 that Heather's mother first noticed something wasn't right with her daughter. Heather was feeling nauseous, prompting her mother and stepfather to take her to a nearby hospital for medical attention. After being evaluated by doctors, Heather was diagnosed with flu-like symptoms. However, Heather's health kept worsening. Her feet became swollen, and doctors diagnosed her with a bacterial infection. Prescribed medication to treat the infection, her mother Kathleen hoped her daughter would recover quickly, as children tend to do. Despite Heather's apparent improvement, Kathleen remained overprotective and concerned about her daughter's health. During a follow-up visit to the doctors, Kathleen requested an X-ray to ensure that everything was okay. After undergoing treatment for a bacterial infection, doctors discovered that Heather had developed inflammation in her intestines. They diagnosed her with Crohn's disease and prescribed cortisone and sulfa medication to help manage her symptoms. Despite her diagnosis, Heather remained committed to her career and went on to film Poltergeist III in the months that followed. To the surprise of those around her, Heather showed no signs of discomfort or illness while on set. Following the completion of filming, Heather and her family took a well-deserved vacation to celebrate. They traveled from Chicago to Disney World and back, enjoying a relaxing and memorable trip together. Throughout the vacation, Heather's health appeared to be excellent, and her mother Kathleen couldn't have been happier. The family cherished the time they spent together, creating precious memories that would stay with them forever. Heather woke up on January 31st, 1988, feeling ill and vomiting. Her mother, Kathleen, thought she could manage her daughter's symptoms and ensured she drank plenty of liquids. The following day, Heather was determined to go to school, but Kathleen noticed something was off when she saw her daughter's appearance. Heather's fingers and toes were blue, and she was breathing heavily and fast. Additionally, her stomach appeared distended. Kathleen called their local doctor, and the officer advised her to bring Heather in immediately. However, Heather collapsed on the floor only 20 seconds later, prompting Kathleen to call the paramedics for emergency assistance. Heather was in critical condition due to an acute bowel obstruction, which caused her to go into septic shock. Despite being conscious when the paramedics arrived, Heather's health rapidly deteriorated, and she suffered a cardiac arrest en route to the hospital after managing to say, "I love you," to her mother. The paramedics were able to revive her, but Heather was flown to Children's Hospital and Health Center in San Diego for surgery. Unfortunately, Heather did not survive the operation and passed away on the operating table at the young age of 12. The news devastated her mother, Kathleen, who said that she felt as if someone was taking a knife and turning it repeatedly. Kathleen had lost her beloved daughter, Heather, at the young age of 12. The grieving mother arranged a private funeral for Heather on February 5, 1988, in Los Angeles. As the final burial rites were taking place, Kathleen tenderly placed a necklace on Heather's chest. The necklace spelled out "Friends" and was a Christmas present from Heather to Kathleen. Kathleen kept the matching necklace, which spelled out "Best." Kathleen cherished the necklaces that Heather gave her as they symbolized a close bond between them. Heather had always considered Kathleen not just as her mom, but also as her best friend. Feeling that Heather's death was caused by medical negligence, Kathleen filed a wrongful death lawsuit against the Kaiser Foundation Hospital and Southern California Permanente Medical Group. Kathleen's lawyers alleged that Heather had been misdiagnosed with Crohn's disease when she had an acute bowel obstruction due to congenital stenosis. According to a medical report from the day of Heather's passing, there was no sign of Crohn's disease. Kathleen believed that if the doctors had read the medications that Heather had been taking, they would have realized that surgery was necessary instead of prescribing medication. The wrongful death lawsuit aimed to hold the medical professionals accountable for their actions, and Kathleen hoped that it would bring justice for Heather's untimely death. Rest in peace, and goodbye, Heather O'Rourke.